Kyle Klingman here with Trackwrestling, and I'm with the head wrestling coach of Ohio State University, Tom Ryan. And your dream has come true, but you have to be able to sleep to have a dream, and it sounds like you haven't had much sleep lately to get this complete. We are at your new wrestling facility, and I want you to explain that. But first of all, when did this vision come into place? How did you dream this up, and why was it needed to have an upgraded facility?
Yeah, so really 10 years ago, was it 3,650 days ago, this vision began with just knowing our facility, although really nice, we're grateful for where it is and what we had when we got here in '06. When I got here in '06, there were some facilities. Michigan had upgraded, Penn State, so there was some Cornell. There were some facilities that were really at a really high standard, and I met with the AD. We always have an end of the year meeting and kind of discuss the state of the program. Met with Gene Smith, shared what Michigan was going to do, quite frankly, and we looked at the plans. And in the meeting, on the spot, he called all his administrative team right in the office. They all came in, and we said we got to start with a plan here. And we basically had to wait. There was some apartment complexes out here, had to come down, but put the plan in place around 10 years ago, and. May 21st will be our first practice in this facility, so 10 years later.
How important are facilities to being a top-level program right now?
I think really important. I think obviously people win, right? It's about the people, but you attract the people with good people, but also facility. I think it just screams. This place screams we care. It's important to us. We know the quality person you are, and we want a facility to match the type of person that you are. I think it screams those things. And we're really fortunate here at Ohio State that we've got some alumni and some donors that love wrestling and love the university and saw where we were and knew that we needed something better. And this is something better.
Is this something that recruits want and need in this era of competitive wrestling?
I think it helps. I said earlier I've been involved in the sport since like 1980, and I've never even been in a room with a window, right? So most wrestling rooms are, hey, let's move the music equipment out and let's roll the mat down. We'll roll it back up. And times have changed. I mean, the sport from an attendance standpoint is booming. The Big Ten Network, it's the third most watched sport on the network. So there's a lot of positives right now, and this is what wrestling has always needed and deserved. We all know that. So it's nice to see student athletes be in a situation to have a facility that they really belong in.
You came from 2 years of that Iowa system under Gable, where it was more kind of that blood and guts mentality, and maybe that was something that was made a myth, but that's the perception. Do we still have that a little bit, where you have to go and dig deep and find those primitive facilities, or is it just a need?
I think that's critical. I mean, there's no ping pong in here. I mean, you still got to make sure that it's all about the fight and the hunger. And I don't think that a facility with windows or not will decrease a man's hunger at all. But at the time when I went to Iowa in '92, I mean, that wrestling room was incredible. And I remember walking in there, you had the arena, you had Carver Hawkeye Arena, you could run quarter-mile sprints up top, you could do stadium stairs. It was accessible, you could get in when you wanted to. It was close to the dorms, so proximity mattered. And one of the things for us now is the dorms are right across the street back here. Where we are now, you can't get to the facility unless an upperclassman picks you up, right? So we all know that, hey, if I'm in the mood to work out, getting there should not be a deterrent, right? Well, I'm in the mood, but I can't get there. How am I going to get there? So that changes for us here as well. But it's still about the grit. The sport, that'll never change. It's always about the tough, consistent, resilient person that can suffer day after day. So we'll just suffer and we'll know what the weather looks like when we're suffering. That's about the only difference.
Let's take a walk through here and take a look at what this is going to look like.
Sure. And this is called the Jennings Wrestling Complex, Jennings Wrestling Facility. Brad and Alex Jennings gave the lead gift. He was a high school wrestler in upstate New York, and insurance, got involved in insurance, did really well. He gave the lead gift. So grateful for he and his wife. They've got 2 kids, and we're fortunate.
So as we walk right into here, this is the new arena. What'd you say, 5,000?
Yeah, about 5,000. We're still working on the exact number we'll be able to fit in here for a wrestling match, but it's about an 1/8 mile around. There's not a bad seat in the house, and you can see you got a great view. The sound system is state of the art. You got a 100-foot video board over there. You got 2 about 25-foot video boards on the side. So from a spectator standpoint, we want them to leave saying, hey, that was that was a great wrestling match, but the event, the venue was incredible. So.
And you have some ideas on some things that are going to be holograms?
Yeah,
and
we got some big, we got virtual reality, Cleveland Browns, a lot of the professional teams, you see it now with the floor, looks like it's moving. So we've got big plans to make it an event that, wrestling fans historically show up at match time. We want them to be here early to say, listen, you cannot miss the show. We want them to leave talking about the detail and what we really stand for, which is a lot of things on top of winning. So there'll be a military component to it. We'll honor our legends here, people that have wrestled here in the past, and really have paved the way for us to be in this position. So
how do you stay connected with your legends of the past? How do you balance that? It's an important part.
Yeah, we communicate with them a lot. I mean, obviously Tommy Rollins, Rex Holman's in town. There's a lot of guys that love the programs, gave so much to the program, and we just build relationships with them. I mean, we spend time with them. We reach out to them. So obviously they're incredibly important. So a lot of them have helped build this place. Guys from the early '80s. Were guys that have done well. Their kids are now through college. They've got some money, and they've done well in life. And now they're paying it forward. They're giving back.
What's the art to fundraising? How do you get people engaged?
I just share your passion. Be excited about it. Reach out to them. Extend your hand. I think as a wrestling coach these days, it's a critical component. When an organization has funds, you can do a lot more in your institution than when you don't. If you ask your boss for something and he says we have no money, and you say, well, I have some money. Then it's a lot easier to get what you want. So fundraising is just really important. And it's all about friend raising, just all about creating really strong relationships and sharing your vision and mission. And I've got a great staff and a great administration here that allows us to really reach out and extend our hand to people.
Let's walk into your baby back here. Yeah. Let's go into the wrestling room.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So there's 3 levels on this side, all wrestling related. 3 levels. The lowest level is kind of the nuts and bolts of the place, the locker room and the theater and the training room. This is level 2, which is concourse level. If we walk into the room this way, this space was donated by the Krebs family. Del and Christie. Del was a wrestler here who done really well in life, Del and Christie. And then this is the wrestling room, which is 5 mats. You can see the windows are just amazing. It's about 14 feet of just open view. This is the east, so every morning there's a sunrise, which is really nice. I think it just gives some more energy to the place. We all pay for the view, so and this has quite a view. So 5 mats, there's 10 cameras, 2 in each mat. That will catch the entire practice in high definition, and then our student athletes can go back after practice and take a look at their footage. We can meet with them as a staff. They can kind of review the practice.
Take us through that component of it, because a lot of times you hear coaches say, hey, we just need to focus on ourselves, just focus on our own offense, be the best version of you. How does that fit in with that and making sure that it can be organic, but you also have to focus on some of the details?
Yeah, no, I think that, at least as a competitor, I liked watching me more than my opponents. I think tendencies we'll share before a big duel. You'll see a space, eventually where we'll go down to where we'll share tendencies of our opponents. But, really assessing yourself is the most critical piece of looking in the mirror. And sometimes it's fun, and sometimes it's not so much fun. But this will give us an opportunity to do that in a way that we've never been able to do before. Historically for me, I take my iPhone, I come to practice, I'll film a position, I'm watching them wrestle, I'll film it. They take a break, I show my iPhone, look, here's a position, you're out of position, this or that. But this will take it to a whole nother level.
And then you've made this donor and fan friendly so that if they want to come and watch, they can be part of the practice. That's
right, yeah. So it's set up, it's wired up so that if a certain level donor maybe wants to tune in and catch a practice, they can do it. Parents can tune in and catch a practice. So we haven't really come up with how we're going to, not how we're going, but who will allow, but it is certainly set up for just a general fan. Hey, every other Thursday, any fan can tune in and watch a wrestling practice or Ohio State. I know for me, as a young wrestler, if someone told me in high school that I could tune in and watch the University of Iowa, Oklahoma State, Ohio State, these elite teams. If I could watch a practice, I'd have been right by my computer. But we didn't have that, right? I knew someone that knew someone that knew someone that had a VHS tape of Arsen Fadzayev. And they got it to that person, who got it to that person, who got it to me, and I'd sit in my basement and watch Arsen Fadzayev wrestle, right? I think that's why wrestling is at such a high level now, right? These kids are seeing technique that when we were wrestling, you didn't see it unless it was hard to see.
So does a space like this, 5 full mats,
Yeah.
mass expanse, does this make you rely on your assistants a little bit more? Because if you're down here,
Yeah.
you can't be all the way down there.
Yeah, and we've set it up so that whoever's coaching, let's say Terrell's running the workout, he has a small little wireless, and his voice comes through all the sound system. And the sound system, we put a lot of resources into the sound system, so it's crystal clear. So when you can hear not only the sound of a song, but you can hear a crisp voice. So it's set up so that they can hear, and if there's anybody up in the upper level watching practice, some coaches bring some juniors or seniors in, you have some alumni, there's a speaker system in the upper level as well that they can hear exactly what we're saying to the athletes.
And then the weight room right here.
And then the weight room right here, we like this, I think under Gable, Gable had this system where you were, from the mats to the weights. The cardio is down at this end as well, so that'll be an elevated platform, 22 bikes, a couple treadmills, oobs. So cardio down there, strength right here. But I just like the fact that it's easily accessible from the mat, so that's kind of the style we went with.
Is it also important for the RTC
Yeah.
that you have here too, that you have a facility to be able to handle that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're at about 40 on our team, plus you have 7, 8 elite athletes training for the Olympics. And I think it will hopefully attract some of the more, the more of the elite athletes to come in and train with some of the guys we have. It's got a good environment. The sound system's incredible. It doesn't win championships, but, as we know, I'm gonna grab my phone, as we know, seasons can get long, it's a lot of training, and anything you can do to add energy to a place, you do.
Now, as we make our way through here, this takes us out to the locker rooms.
Yeah, so down here, so this is gonna be, there'll be a 25-foot flat screen on that wall. A 25-foot flat screen, and you can view that flat screen from the suite. That'll be our wall of champions down there, our national champions wall. And then there's bleachers on the left side over here, so the team will come up the staircase in the room, sit in the bleachers, and that's kind of where practice will start. And then we can go upstairs. I think we can go this way.
Yeah, so as
Yeah.
we talk about this,
Yeah.
it's almost done.
Yeah.
Are you going to get some sleep now? How rewarding is this?
It's really rewarding. I mean, I love the sport. I love the people in it. It's like all of us. I mean, a lot of these people that we've met along the road have changed our lives. So it's nice to be a part of something that's going to make a big difference. And of course, Logan's going to run a wrestling academy out of here. So Logan Stever will start a wrestling school, and that'll really create the opportunity to help not only the kids, not only the student athletes here, but we can touch a lot of lives with this place. So that's one of the things I'm most excited about. When we built it, it was built to be a community center as well. Right? You have 40 guys on the team, but if you can impact another 200, 300 kids in the state of Ohio, that's good. So, and also outside the state of Ohio, right? With Flex. Our strength coach. So this is a little common waiting area where we'll be upstairs. So when guests come down and grab them. This is our strength coach. This is more of a strength lab, a testing lab than anything. But it's got a view. He's got a view of everything that's happening from a training standpoint. Ohio State really support us with Riley Ross. We just hired this really good strength coach and kind of a sports scientist. He was with, he worked with the United States military for a while. He was a wrestler who knew Terrell really well. Terrell recommended him to me. I interviewed him with our strength staff. We loved him. This is the break room. So just nothing fancy other than just a little break room. Get some coffee in the morning, which I don't really drink, but our guys like to drink it. So coffee, and here's just a great view. Great view for dual meets. Second level. So there's 5 offices up here. This is our director of operations. Right now, Ryan Mantell is in this position, and our managers. And then we've got a couple of restrooms up here. Not everything is quite finished yet, but we're awfully close. We move in next week. Another restroom. This space is this space is a kind of a recruiting war room, and I was telling Kyle that the person that sponsored this room, I had met him. I spoke at Urban Meyer's house. There was an Athletes in Action event at Urban Meyer's house. I was speaking there, and Jack Miller, Jack and Deb, heard me speak. They came up to me after the talk and said, "Hey, I want to get to know you better, get involved in the program." They started coming to matches. They invited me up to their place. They live about an hour and a half from here. Within about 6 months of knowing him, he called me and said, "Hey, I want to help you fund this facility." And they made a $300,000 donation in my son's name to have this space named after Teague. So those are the type of people you run into around here. I mean, I don't know how many places that happens. I'm sure it happens across the country, but when you feel it, it's real. So yeah, Jack's also helping our Olympic program. An amazing guy, Jack and Deb. So they just named it. He named it after Teague. It's
and then your son had passed away.
Yeah.
How did they know about that?
When I share how that was kind of the line in the sand for me. So when I shared at Urban's house, I kind of talk about unchosen suffering and the things that can happen in life and how you can have a vision correction from it and how the pain can move you to figure out what your priceless is. You know, so precious, its value cannot be determined, right? The Webster's definition of priceless. So I kind of shared that, and he heard it and wanted to get to know me better. And he has a strong faith, and I'm a believer as well. So we hit it off, and now he's like been an amazing friend of the program and helps any way he can. So yeah, my wife was moved by her gesture. So that's cool. This will be the last place we meet with a recruit. This is going to change a little bit. We'll have couch more laid back, some couches, more laid back setting, and just talk about things outside of wrestling. You know, the wrestling part's easy for a lot of these guys. So that's this space, and this was.
And if we could on recruiting, how much of a factor is that anymore? You have to get the right recruits in. How much can you develop them once you get here?
Yeah, I think they can develop a lot, but man, they're so good coming out now.
Yeah.
Right, they're so good. They're watching so much wrestling. There's so many events, cadet worlds, junior worlds, so there's just a lot of events and opportunities. I think everybody knows. The information's out there. So where's the clinic? Where's the next clinic? Where's this guy going to be? Where's this clinic going to be? And who's teaching there? And there's just so much information, I feel like. And those that are really hungry move toward it. And their level is just so high coming in. But the developing side is critical. But we can see I think, by the recruiting rankings. And usually, if they're really good in high school, they're usually pretty good in college. Now, they may not win it 3 or 4 times, but they do well. So recruiting is critical. In this place, this year, some of the rankings right now, and if your rankings have come out, have us as the #1 recruiting class. This was a piece of it. You know, we got Kirk Fleet, we got Carson, the Decatur boys, and there were other reasons why they came. But certainly when you see this, it's hard to say no. So
does it help when
helps.
Kyle Snyder is part of the program?
Of course, yes. Kyle Snyder. Well, the day I got Kyle Snyder, I became a way better coach. So, and Logan, and a lot of others. So we can go out on this balcony here. So you have an overlook this way. I think this is cool. I don't know, but this will be a place where we have dinner together. You know, just spend time together as a team. Almost every night we feed them. So they'll come up here as a team, sit down together. We have leadership meetings during dinner. So they'll have dinner. This is cool. It just opens and closes for dual meets. So you can see this view, and then you can get the view of the wrestling room. Anybody watching practice can just watch it from here. So you get this view. You know, I've said before, that's the east. So the sun rises out there. So our guys, you're working out at 7 a.m. There's a sunrise. You'll get it. You know, you'll have this sense of hopefully. So then all our offices are down this way. So our offices overlook the wrestling room, but they also overlook the competition facility. So this offices, this is my office, and then all of our coaches, these are pocket doors, so we're all together. You know, we're all really close. We spend a lot of time together. These can open or close. If I don't want to see Jaggers, I can close this door, which is nice. And if I do, I can open it.
What if he didn't want to see you?
He'll close it. He'll want to close it more than I will. So this is Coach Ralph, who's our recruiting coordinator. This does a fantastic job. Super hard worker, loves the sport. This is Coach Jaggers, and this is Bowen Tervel. So these guys will share this space, and then we all, like I said, they all have a view of the wrestling room, and they all have a view of the competition arena.
How important is it to have the spacing where you are, as far as where the offices are located? Is that well thought through?
Yeah. I think, you know, I was saying, I think we humans hunger for beauty. I think it's something that God has instilled in us to desire this incredible beauty. And in terms of a wrestling facility, the most beauty you see is when you're looking at the arena, and to be elevated above it, looking down is just a beautiful view, and the same thing the other way, elevated looking down is a good view. So it was laid out with the focal point being the wrestling room. You know, everything looking into the wrestling room, and then again everything looking into the competition facility.
And then we're going to go to the locker room.
Yeah, we'll go down. We'll go down a lot. So there's an elevator. There's an elevator that can take you to each of the 3 floors. So there's 3 floors on this side. Like I said, there's 2 floors on that side. That's men's and women's volleyball offices. So none of the history is up yet. We're not quite moved in yet. All that starts happening.
So the quote was going to be right here.
Quote right here, by one of our legends about mindset. So every wall has been thought out. What do we want to guide the student athlete's mindset to as you either head toward practice or away from practice? Coming out of practice, they'd come down the staircase, they'd open this door, they'd come in here, and this is going to be, this wall is going to say, this is the Navy SEALs ethos. The only easy day was yesterday. So you're coming out of practice and you're tired, and you look up and you're thinking, I got to do this again tomorrow. Today's over.
And now that we're going into the locker room, though, we can spill the beans that when you recruited beforehand, you would not take your athletes through the
No, we
locker room.
didn't show them the locker room. The locker room was an unimportant part of the process of getting them.
And you didn't even get to see
No,
it
I didn't get to see it either. No, when they were hiring me or interviewing, I didn't get to see it either, for good reason. So we got, you know, like a rubber floor here because there'll be a lot of sweat in here to come out of practice, so it's sweaty, so we have rubber, no carpet in here. This is for the elite athletes, space for the elite athletes. There's 17 lockers in here, which is really a utopia situation for us, having about that many elite athletes. This space is a sleep pod room. We may change it to a barber shop, and then God willing, at some point in time, saunas become legal. This is going to be our perfect sauna space, but it's not legal yet, so we don't have it. But we'll keep fighting that because we believe they're not harmful. They're helpful. So this is our locker room space. We got 50 lockers in here. We got some flat screens that'll cover practice schedules. We'll update stuff to keep the student athlete knowing exactly what's going on from a wrestling standpoint, a travel standpoint, from academic standpoint. Everything will be when they're thinking information, they're thinking these boards. And then this is, every athlete will send us 5 photos of the people that, or 5 or more, of the people that were most inspirational in their life. We're going to do a cool collage for each guy, and that'll go right here. So just remembering the past and who's helped you along the way. This is just restrooms and shower space, big showers. And, so nothing fancy other than it's important to stay clean. So we got showers. And then also in our locker room space, we've got, so this will be lit up as well. We got LED lighting coming in here. It's on its way. So it'll be really cool lighting that makes the lockers pop. Just things that, I don't know, that look good. And then this is our team space, a couple TVs, 3 TVs. I think the gist of the facility, one of the underlying themes is family and unity. And when you have a place that has this much space and is this nice, people are attracted to be there. And if you're here, you're in the best place you could possibly be in, right? There's a lot of other places they could be spending time that are way less productive. So this place will be open from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night. It's all fingerprint entry. So if you want to come in and get a workout in late, or you want to get a workout in the morning, just fingerprint in, and we know when you're in here and what you're doing. So it's good. So this is our locker room space, our kind of a family room space. And then there's going to be a quote from Kyle Snyder right here, his mantra. His mantra has always been, don't protect anything. So as the team gets ready for a competition, they'll come out of this door, and that'll be don't protect anything right there. And they'll make a turn here. And all of these spaces will be our old singlets. So just kind of reminding them of, you're standing on the shoulders of the ones that have come before you. So our old singlets will line the hallway, and then they'll run out into the arena. We're on the arena floor level, which we'll see when we turn back around. This is a recovery station. So just a nutrition station. So this is also fingerprint, 6 to 10. You got out of practice at 8 a.m. You got a class at 8:30, 8:45. You don't have time to run and get breakfast. Come in here, grab a smoothie, grab a granola bar, get something in your system. It's the power of nutrition. And then this is just a training room. There's a Coolton hot plunge in there for recovery. But also right across the street, the Shoemaker is a $45 million renovation, a new build that has float tanks and cryotherapy. And so all the things for rehabilitation as well. It's literally across the street. So the athletes can head across the street too. And then next door over here is, that's just equipment room where you get your gear after practice. You can throw your gear in there, nothing fancy about it, but it's nice when someone does your laundry and it comes back clean.
We're close to the end of the line
yeah,
here. Do you have other things you want to show
Yeah,
us?
I'll show you this. I got one more thing.
Wow.
So this is the last space. Like I said, this is a 45,000 square foot space for wrestling. Obviously not including the arena, not that much of stuff right there. But they come through here, and then they run out into the mat. So it's a tight venue. We want it to be a suffocating environment. I think right now the toughest environment to wrestle in is Penn State. Besides the fact that their guys are good, it's just they're right on top of you. We want that feel here. We want it to be a home court advantage. And then right in here, hopefully this is open. We have to run around. Let me run around. Yeah. This is their last space, is a theater. So this will serve as for a lot of things. Team meetings. So team meetings, study hall. We'll be able to. This will be a giant TV screen here. The practice footage comes right in here. So if we saw some things in practice we want to highlight, they'll shower. They'll grab some food. We'll meet in here. We'll be able to assess opponents here. So do some, pre-duel assessment of tendencies, but then also maybe movie night. If you have a 3.5 or better, you can join us for a nice movie and some popcorn. So we can do some cool things with it too, but really fortunate to have this much space.
How much time is this going to free up for you now that this
A lot of time, yeah. I've been really busy with it, and the cool thing is I've got, Tervel's an amazing coach, and Bo Jordan's been great in his first year as a coach. Jaggers, his IQ, his wrestling IQ is super high. So I definitely put a lot of energy into this in the last year or so, but it'll be nice to have this behind us and move on. And Logan's joining the RTC staff now, which is really nice to have his knowledge. 4-time national champ and world champ is not a bad way to end your wrestling career.
When you got this job, you said that you wanted to fence in Ohio. How good of a job do you think you've done at that?
I think we've done well. I think we want to continue to make sure that the best stay home, and then cherry pick around the country. I think this will help tremendously. Before the state tournaments wrestled every year, they use our old facility as a warm-up area. So this year at the state tournament, they'll be using this facility. So to get young people in here, I think they're already hungry to wrestle for Ohio State, but this is going to help. This is going to help quite a bit. So we've lost a few. For the most part, we keep them home. And the reality is there's just too many good ones to get them all, but we got to get the ones we want.
Hey, appreciate this tour.
Yeah, man.
This is going to be a
appreciate
big
you guys
upgrade,
stopping
so
by.
appreciate all the time.
Appreciate you guys stopping by, yeah.